A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Beetv Global News at 12. I am Ruth Ogbodu and now the news in detail. Heavy rains caused by cyclone Beetv have triggered severe flooding and landslide across Sri Lanka. Over 12 inches, 300 mm of rainfall in the eastern and central regions, submerging homes and displacing thousands of residents. The report.
The Sri Lanka Air Force released footage showing dramatic helicopter rescues of stranded residents from rooftops as floodwaters engulfed entire neighborhoods. Ground teams, the Navy and police are also conducting evacuation operations, but rising water levels continue to impede relief efforts. At least 69 people have died and dozens remain missing. Tens of thousands of residents have been displaced to temporary shelters, schools and public facilities. Many homes, roads and railway lines have been destroyed or severely damaged, disrupting normal life. Schools, offices and public services, including the Colombo Stock Exchange, have been closed to ensure safety. Emergency rescue operations are ongoing with military and civil authorities working to evacuate vulnerable populations. Authorities warn that flooding may worsen in low-lying areas and along major rivers, including the Kelani River near Colombo. The situation remains critical as Cyclone Beetv continues to bring heavy rain and strong winds. Full recovery is expected to take time, with relief and aid operations continuing under challenging conditions. Evelyn Izibile reporting for Beetv News. TV News.
As flood waters gradually recede, authorities are beginning to assess the extensive destruction left behind in multiple provinces. The report.
According to disaster management officials, days of heavy monsoon rains triggered widespread inundation, cutting off roads, damaging homes, and disrupting essential services. Rescue teams have been working to reach affected communities, many of which remain isolated after key transport routes were submerged or washed out. Thousands of residents have been displaced, with emergency shelters set up to accommodate families forced from their homes. Preliminary assessment shows large-scale damage to farmland, public infrastructure and private property. The official says the full extent of the losses will become clearer in the coming days. Relief operations are ongoing and authorities have urged caution as water levels continue to drop, warning that hidden debris, unstable structures, and contaminated water supplies pose ongoing risks. The government has pledged support for recovery efforts as the region begins the long process of rebuilding after one of the deadliest floods to hit southern Thailand in recent years. Soher or Semeki reporting for Beetv News.
On 28 November 2025, Hungarian Prime Minister at the Kremlin. The report.
The main purpose of the meeting was to secure additional supplies of Russian oil and natural gas for Hungary, a move Beetv says is essential for its energy security this winter and beyond. Orban emphasized that Russian energy forms the basis of Hungary's energy supply now and in the future, and described Russian deliveries as reliable and predictable. Earlier this month, Orban secured an exemption from U.S. sanctions on Russian energy firms, which he said ensures Hungary can continue importing Russian oil and gas despite Western sanctions on Moscow. At the Kremlin, Putin welcomed Orban's visit and commented positively on Hungary's balanced position regarding the war in Ukraine. The meeting coming amid ongoing tensions over Russia's war in Ukraine and European effort to reduce dependence on Russian energy underscores Budapest's continued divergence from many of its European partners when it comes to energy and foreign policy. Soher or Semeki reporting for Beetv News.
In an ad-hitting post on his social media account Thursday night, President Donald Trump declared he will permanently pause migration from what is described as poorer nations or third world countries who pledge to seek the expulsion of millions of immigrants currently living in the United States by revoking their legal status. The reports.
Trump blamed immigrants for a variety of what he called America's social dysfunction, including crime and housing shortages, and demanded what he termed reverse migration. The announcement comes in the wake of a shooting Wednesday in Washington, D.C., in which two members of the National Guard patrolling under orders from the administration were shot. One died and the other remains critically injured. The alleged shooter is a 29-year-old Afghan national resettled in the U.S. through a previous resettlement program. In a statement, Trump said he intends to end all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens, deneutralize immigrants deemed to undermine domestic tranquility or who are not a net asset, and deport any foreign nationals he regards as a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization. He also announced a re-examination of millions of legal immigrants, including those admitted under the previous administration, as part of what officials describe as a 10-month campaign to reduce the immigrant population. Critics of the move note that extensive research contradicts the assumption that immigrants Critics of the move note that extensive research contradicts the assumption that immigrants increase. Crime studies have long shown immigrants are generally less likely to commit crimes than native-born Americans. The plan marks what many observers describe as the most severe anti-immigration stance by a U.S. president in decades, and raises concern about immigrants' rights, advocates about mass deportation, widespread deneutralization, and determination of benefits for large segments of the non-citizen population. Evelyn Isabella reporting for Beetv News.
A catastrophic fire that erupted Wednesday at Wangfog Court, a high-rise residential complex in the Tai Po district, has claimed at least 128 lives, authorities said Friday. The report.
Firefighters completed an apartment-by-apartment search after flames tore through 7 of the estate's 8 towers during the 40-hour blaze. Many units were being renovated at the time and were wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green mesh conditions that investigators say allowed the fire to spread rapidly. Authorities said fire alarms in the complex failed to operate, leaving many residents without warning as the fire took hold. As of Friday, an additional 8 people linked to the building's renovation have been arrested by the Independent Commission Against Corruption. In total, 11 individuals, including contractor, project managers, and engineering consultants, are in custody on suspicion of negligence, manslaughter, and corruption. Officials said roughly 200 people remain unaccounted for among the 128 confirmed dead. At least 89 bodies have yet to be identified. The tragedy and the deadliest residential fire in Hong Kong in nearly 80 years has sparked outcry over building safety standards, renovation practices, and enforcement of fire regulations. Authorities have pledged a sweeping review of renovation protocols across the city. Zainab Mohammed reporting for Beetv News.
The death toll from the devastating flash floods and landslide that struck Indonesia's Sumatra island has risen to 164 as of Friday, with 79 people still missing, according to emergency authorities. The disaster followed days of intense monsoons rains that caused rivers to overflow and triggered disruptive landslide across several provinces. The report.
North Sumatra has recorded the highest number of casualties with 116 deaths, followed by Aceh with 25 deaths and West Sumatra with 23 deaths. Search and rescue teams continue to recover bodies from debris-filled rivers, buried homes, and remote hillside villages. The scale of destruction is severe. In North Sumatra alone, more than 3,200 houses and public buildings were submerged, forcing about 3,000 displaced families to take shelter in government evacuation centers. In West Sumatra, floodwaters inundated over 17,000 homes, displacing approximately 23,000 residents. Large areas of farmland, rice fields, livestock pens, bridges, and public facilities have been destroyed. Rescue operations have been heavily hampered by widespread infrastructure damage. Broken bridges, washed-out roads, power outages, and the collapse of telecommunication networks have limited access to many villages. In several mountains and isolated areas, heavy machinery such as excavators cannot reach the sites due to roadblocks by landslide debris, forcing respondents to rely on manual digging. Officials say the disaster was triggered by relentless monsoon rains made worse by tropical cyclone Senya, which brought extreme rainfall, powerful winds, and high waves at Aceh, North Sumatra, West Sumatra, and surrounding regions. Meteorologists warn that unstable atmospheric conditions could prolong severe weather, increasing the risk of additional flooding and landslides. The government have deployed military aircraft and emergency teams to deliver aid, including food, medicine, blanket, tents, and generators. However, respondents report that in some areas, relief must be carried in on foot because vehicles cannot pass damaged terrain. Authorities have also renewed calls for stricter enforcement against illegal logging and environmental degradation, citing their role in worsening flood impact. With dozens still unaccounted for and thousands displaced, emergency teams say the full toll of the disaster may continue to rise in the coming days as such efforts expand into isolated communities. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
Going on a short break, do stay with us.
Hooray! It's another time, another day, and another year to celebrate Edo State Second Lady, Her Excellency, Ambassador Mrs. Kasha Osaiti Idahosa. A hearty congratulations to a woman of valor, a delectable wife, and a home builder, Her Excellency, Ambassador Mrs. Kasha Osaiti Idahosa, wife of Edo State Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa. On this special day, I join millions of Edo women and committee of friends at home and in the diaspora to celebrate you, Your Excellency. You are an amazing woman, a virtuous woman, humble and kind. I celebrate a pillar of support and a beautiful soul. May God bless your day with more love than your heart can hold. May God fill you with His grace now and always. May the Almighty God guide you with more wisdom to support your husband, our amiable Deputy Governor of Edo State. And may you continue to dazzle like the moon every day. I wish you many more years of celebrations. Signed, Chief Ambassador Mrs. Temi Stella Ogbeta, woman leader and special aide to wife of the Deputy Governor of Edo State.
Oh, time don't reach. What are the people, Beetv people, Edo State people? Time don't reach to keep your environment clean. Operation Clean Your Environment. Operation Clean Your Business Places. You will be hotel owner. You will be market owner. You will they work out for street bus driver. Aha! That's the thing waiting for your motto. Not to remain for grand. That's the thing waiting for your domot. Not to remain for merry-go. Those one they cause yama yama. It they cause pollution to our environment. Carry that dirty. Put on for your waste bin. Motto day we go carry on for your doorstep. Because you better can say cleanliness lead to godliness. Now small yama yama they lead to sickness. You will work at the drink pure water or can water. Not to react for grand. If they grab you, now just tell you they go. No time to waste time. This one time don't come for us to join hand with the Urado local government by Honorable Kim Hawolo Akako Rescue to keep environment clean. Because when you keep your environment clean, Papa, you go enjoy good health. Bring you this message from Urado Local Government Council.
Let's join hands together to keep Edo clean.
Welcome back, and now to the entertainment news. Nollywood actress Yves Epstein has expressed strong admiration for Scream icon Rita Dominic as the veteran actress celebrated her third wedding anniversary with her husband Fedil Celis Ansuke. The reports.
Rita Dominic marked the milestone by sharing heartwarming footage from her 2022 wedding ceremony. In response, Eve Essence affirming herself as a lifetime fan. Essence's message highlighted her admiration for the veteran actress, praising everything from Rita Dominic's talent to her personality. She wrote, "Happy anniversary to the lady I love and appreciate so much. Love your craft, love your personality, just love who you are. My own role model, your lifetime fan. Cheers to many more happy years in marriage. May God bless you and yours always and forever. Warm wishes from Mo to you and yours." Rita Dominic and Fidelis Anusike held a star-studded traditional and white wedding in 2022. Essence's heartfelt tribute drew positive reaction from fans who commended her for showing genuine support and admiration within the Nollywood industry. Nollywood actress Mercy Aigbe was visibly overcome with grief during the service of songs held for her late mother, Madam Grace Abisola Owodunni, on Thursday, November 27. The actress, who announced her mother's passing earlier, is preparing for the burial, set to take place on Saturday, November 29, 2025, in Lekki, Lagos. In a somber video shared online, the actress was seen leading the pallbearers carrying her mother's casket into the service venue before breaking down in tears. The event marked the commencement of the final burial rites for Madam Owodunni. Olivia Dean has criticized the concert ticketing industry as exploitative and marked by inequality after securing partial refunds for her fans from Ticketmaster and AXS. Her remarks followed reports that some resale tickets for her North American tour was being sold for more than 14 times their original face value, exceeding $1,000. Last week, Dean addressed the issue in an open letter to ticketing companies, calling the practice disgusting and vile and urging them to do better. On Wednesday, Ticketmaster announced it would cap future resale prices for Dean's tour and refund fans for any markup already paid to resellers on its platform.